The pressure on a hungry Colorado State team looking to make their mark against one of the nation's top teams. It's UConn and Colorado State from Fort Collins. Next. They're welcoming CPTV here in Colorado. The first time the Connecticut Huskies have ventured into this state, braving sub-zero temperatures to come inside Moby Arena and see the 8th-ranked Huskies taking on the Colorado State Rams. Hi, everyone. Along with New York Liberty star and former Colorado State All-American Becky Hammond, I'm Tim Neverett. UConn in an interesting situation. They've not lost a December game in 11 years. Coming off a loss, how's Gino Auriemma going to react tonight?
Well, I'm sure they're eager to prove themselves, and they've never been in this situation before, so they're going to respond well. Their backs are against the wall. They need to prove something not only to themselves, but the rest of the country, that they're legit. There's life after Diana, and they're going to come out and play really hard, play smart, and play with a lot of energy tonight.
Biggest crowd of the year is here in Moby Arena. They're here to see a Colorado native, Ann Struther.
Ann Struther is coming back home, and, you know, she's one of the most versatile players in the country. She's an inside-outside player. She's able to create her shot in a lot of different ways. So here you see her putting the ball on the floor, drawing some contact, and able to finish. So look for big things from Ann Struther tonight.
Colorado State comes off a lopsided win over Tennessee Martin. What kind of team are we going to see out of Chris Denker's Rams?
Well, I think, you know, Chris Denker's going to stick with what got him here. And they're going to come out, they're going to play hard. They have nothing to lose tonight. They're 0-3 against big-time teams, so they're looking at this as a great opportunity, not only for themselves, but to get some national exposure as well. And they're going to need a lot of help from Lindsey Thomas on the inside. She had a great game last game, so look to get it going on the inside early in this game today.
We're counting down to the opening tip here at Moby Arena in Fort Collins. It's the Huskies and the Rams on CPTV coming up next. Welcome back inside the home of the Rams. Moby Arena in Fort Collins. Take a look at the starting lineups. Part of the story here tonight. Stacey Marin, a walk-on, getting a start tonight. Barbara Turner is not in the Connecticut starting lineup. Nor Dennis Thomas, Hunter, and Espinoza. Lindsey Thomas, 45, the one to watch for Colorado State. Set to tip this one off. The officials tonight: Scott Yarborough, John Weeks, and Jeff Caudill, all of the Big East Conference. Struther with a basketball, and Connecticut controls the opening tip. Interesting, Becky, that Marin would get the start, a walk-on. Gino Auriemma has been tinkering with different lineups, trying to find one that clicks.
Well, especially at that point guard position. This is such a crucial position on the floor. It's an extension of Gino out there, and he's been spoiled in the past with great point guards. A lot of that has to do with his coaching, but he's also had a lot of talent and a lot of skill at that position.
Well, Ned Crockett breaks the ice, and it is 2-0. And when we say ice, outside it is below zero. The coldest day of the year here in Colorado. Gino Auriemma, 20 years at UConn, 536 wins, 105 losses. 84% of the time he wins. And Chris Denker is up opposite number tonight. In his third year, 45-28, 85-46 overall as a head coach. Denker trying to get the Colorado State program back into top 25 status.
Things right now, you see that first possession. UConn has been struggling a little bit with their offensive execution, putting points up on the board. They've been doing it with their defense because they're not shooting the three that well. And you saw in this first possession come out, put a lot of pressure. They're going to try to use their size and athleticism to try to affect this game early on, get good momentum, get the crowd out of this game. And you saw they forced a trap down there, and Colorado State's forced to take a quick timeout.
Gino Auriemma obviously not happy with what happened the other night with a loss to Arizona State. He basically has put the team on lockdown, not allowing them to talk to the media. closing practice today. Usually it's open to the media. He's serious about getting back to their winning ways as UConn is in danger of dropping out of the top 10. Espinoza with the basketball, now on to Noor. And a good defensive series for UConn, not allowing the shot for Colorado State.
Well, UConn is definitely juiced up. They did not enjoy. I mean, this is something that just doesn't happen in Connecticut women's basketball. I mean, you just don't lose in December. And, you know, Coach Ariema didn't say they were upset. He said distraught. These girls were distraught over this. So they're going to come out and they're going to be very poised, very focused. And you see the focus not only offensively on the first possession, but also on the defensive end.
Jessica Moore makes it 4-0. Senior out of Palmer, Alaska. She had started 77 straight games until the Arizona State game. Not in the starting lineup that night. Espinoza is fouled as she goes to the basket. Vanessa Espinoza from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, was a teammate of Ann Struthers for a couple of years in high school before Espinoza transferred over to Douglas County High School. They played summer ball together. They know each other quite well. In fact, Espinoza helped with the Colorado State scouting report on Struthers, and she knows her so well.
Well, yeah, you always have an advantage if you've played with somebody. You see their tendencies in practice, in game, so you know what they're like and what they bring to the floor.
Struther playing in her home state for the first time as a collegian. Marin with Espinoza guarding her. Ashley Battle.
You know, you see quite the shakeup in UConn's lineup tonight. Interesting to not start Barbara Turner. Nothing speaks to players like playing time.
Three-pointer for Struther, and she's been struggling in that category over the last 2 games. 1 for 9 from behind the arc.
You know, shooting's like that sometimes. Tonight, you know, she comes out, she hits her first shot. She's going to feel like she's in a little bit of a rhythm. She's probably going to hit a few more before the night's over tonight.
Struther with the 3. And UConn out to a 7-2 advantage. 3 for 3 from the field. That's the way you start after a loss when you're a Husky.
Yeah, well, they definitely can establish. You know, the inside game has been consistent for them. They got some inside players. It's been the outside, like you said, the three-point shooting that they've struggled a little bit. So if they can establish not only their first two shots were layups, now they come back out, hit an outside shot. If they're able to do that, it's going to be a rough night for the Colorado State Rams.
Sarah Hunter with the ball over to Espinoza. Moore out of the corner. And a rebound taken down by Stacy Marin, senior out of Albuquerque. Lynette Crockett. First field goal missed by UConn. And a rebound to Colorado State. Long pass Espinoza. Swatted away by Struther. And the rebound by Melissa Dennett, former volleyball player, finally goes out of bounds. Back to the Huskies.
Melissa Dennett definitely has some athleticism. She's able to get up and grab some of those boards. But the size and the quickness and the athleticism, that's going to be problems for Colorado State all night. You know, if you're Colorado State, you might want to think about a couple of penetrate in there, draw that defensive end, and then try to kick it out and find some shooters. But when you're 5'5" trying to go against those girls, you're not going to have very good results.
Struther saying, take that, get out of here. This rejection. Colorado State trying to work the ball around the perimeter, and a foul is called. Foul will be called on Ann Struther, her first, and the team's first. Colorado State to put the ball in play. Lindsey Thomas will do the honors. To Dennett. Annika Walseth, who checked in for Molly Noor.
See Ashley Battle D'ing up Vanessa Espinoza. She's by far their best perimeter player out there on the floor right now. Quick and athletic, and there you see Annika coming up with the steal right there.
Espinoza lays it in. 4 quick points for Colorado State, and they cut the lead to 7-6.
You know, a key for Colorado State, if they want to stay in this game, they can't make little mental mistakes. They got to execute. They got to do all the little things well, and you got to stay in the game. If you can keep it within 10, 12 points, you can hope for a good run at the end of the game and have this crowd help you out as well.
Struther steps around the D, misses the shot. Rebound to the Rams. Lindsey Thomas gets it ahead to the freshman Hunter. She's local out of Fort Collins. Likes to shoot the 3, and here comes one.
She's definitely got the green light out there. She's a freshman, but she's got the confidence of a senior. And, you know, her coaches, if she's open, they want her pulling the trigger.
There's a turnover. That's been a problem for the Huskies as of late.
If you look at their 2 losses, it's been in the category of taking care of the ball.
Espinoza for 3. Vanessa Espinoza with 6 points. And for the first time, the home team in front of their largest crowd of the year has a 2-point lead, 9-7.
Great job by Espinoza.
Traveling violation as Jessica Moore walked down the lane. And a huge crowd here at Moby likes what they're seeing out of the home team. For Gino's team, time to regroup.
Colorado State definitely having to get it done on the defensive end. If they want to stay in this game, they got to defend. Here you're going to see great pressure on the ball, and you see Lindsey Thomas is able to keep position. She's fighting her all the way, and then just a miscue there between the UConn players. And turnovers has been kind of the Achilles tendon for this UConn team. They got to take care of the ball if they want to stay in this game.
They've recorded double figures in turnovers in all but one game. That was against Buffalo in a blowout win. 24 turnovers against Arizona State in a loss. 28 turnovers against North Carolina in their only other loss. Rams in the midst of a 7-0 run against the Huskies. 9-7 Colorado State.
Well, you certainly can't beat teams if you give the ball to the other team. And that's been the case here.
Espinoza trying another 3. Insertor Abidye, who is a countrywoman of Rashida Sadiq from Nigeria.
If you're Colorado State, a bright spot right now is you're getting to the offensive glass, you're creating some more opportunities for yourself, and that's what you're going to need when you're playing the UConn Huskies, is you're going to have to create more opportunities, whether that's on the defensive end or crashing the boards and creating more offense that way.
Mel Thomas and Barbara Turner have checked in for the Huskies. Thomas still wearing that mask after suffering the broken nose. Inbound to Jessica Moore. Strother looking for some help.
UConn looks a little bit confused out there on what they're running. They're running a couple different things, a lot of down screens and stagger screens, but not getting the looks that they want.
Espinoza can't get it to go. Going against her former high school teammate, Strother. Now Thomas will bring it up the floor. Thomas has been seeing quite a bit of time at the point guard position. But right now, Gino Auriemma, again, tinkering with the starting lineup, trying to find one that works.
Well, I think that's been the biggest problem with this Connecticut team, is that point guard position. You see, simply bringing up the ball, a little bit of token pressure is giving them some problems, and they got to just stay composed, stay calm. They got to get their shooters some looks. And right now, you know, UConn's beating themselves a little bit.
Barbara Turner caught for walking. Espinoza brings the ball up the floor for Colorado State. Glad you're with us tonight on CPTV for this later night telecast of Connecticut Huskies basketball from the road. Jump ball and the possession arrow going in favor of Connecticut. Annika Walseth.
Again, that scrappy UConn defense. That's really how they've won games. That's how you win championships. I mean, it's a cliche saying in women's basketball, in basketball in general, you know, defense wins champions, but it's the absolute truth. And this team, really without a great point guard, and that's where they're struggling, is at that point guard position, but they're able to make up for that lack of leadership and that lack of having a little general out there on your team on the defensive end. They're creating a lot of turnovers, and that's what's going to get them in this game tonight as well.
Lynette Crockett checked back in for the Huskies. Here's Dennett. Back out to Walseth. Guarded by Crockett. And Strother doubles. We're doing a little bit of officiating, saying it should be his ball. Tipped by a Husky apparently on the way by.
The officials obviously didn't see it that way. Right there, though, if you're Vanessa Espinoza, get down to that corner a little bit more. Whenever your teammate penetrates baseline, you definitely want to float baseline for him, give him an outlet. That time, UConn just happened to get a piece of the ball.
Liz Kramer transfer with the basketball, and Connecticut on the steal.
Great job defensively by Espinoza. You know, she's a scrappy defender. She's got good quickness. She's got good strength. Did a good job of keeping the ball in front of her, and then when she got beat, getting a little bit, a back tap there. Here you see she crosses her over and then is able to get a hand in there. Good job by Vanessa Espinoza stopping that fast break.
Checking back in for Colorado State, or checking in for the first time, we should say, is Kylie O'Dwyer. And the rebound by Tora Bidyak.
For Colorado State, those are the shots you want Connecticut taking. Make them a perimeter shooting team. Don't let them get inside the paint. Don't let their defense create offense for them. And those are some weaknesses for this UConn team right now.
Well, Thomas knocked it out of bounds. Jessica Moore quickly off the Connecticut bench. And off the Colorado State bench, Sarah Hunter. One of the things that Gino's been doing a lot lately, and he doesn't like doing, is calling plays. He doesn't like set plays. He likes to run a multiple offense, and they will run different offenses, but he doesn't like to get them in a set offense. Right now, they need any kind of offense. They haven't scored since the 18:09 mark, and it's been over 5 minutes.
That's right. You know, he wants people that can be able to play basketball out there. He's a teacher of the game, and he wants good students of the game, be able to read and react, make the right cuts, make the right, you know, make the right pass, make the good decision, and that's what this team has struggled with this year. See right here. Good job by Jessica Moore getting topside wrap and creating that turnover.
Ashley Battle had a career game last time out in the loss against the Sun Devils. AB ended up with 21 points and 10 of 16 shooting.
Ashley's definitely more known for her defensive presence than her offensive presence.
Barbara Turner missed the shot. A foul is called.
Colorado State doing a good job of creating some chaos out there. It's been a defensive game thus far. There hasn't been, the offense is a little bit slow going out of the gates, but that's to be expected in a game where I think UConn feels a lot of pressure and Colorado State is really juiced to be playing the Huskies.
Kylie O'Dwyer unable to get the shot. And Connecticut with it again, Mel Thomas. Foul is going to be called underneath. The entry pass to Wilnette Crockett. Vanessa Espinoza has been getting it done so far for the Rams with her pesky play.
Well, you see her on the offensive end, but really she's come up with some great defensive plays as well. But, you know, she's a junior out there, so she has some experience. She's playing some big-time games, and she's their best perimeter player, and they're going to need her to have a big game tonight if they want to stay in this thing.
Espinoza averaging nearly 13 points a game. She'll dish it out a little bit, too. Rashida Sadiq has checked in, the Nigerian Olympian. Working on Marilyn Moulton in the post. Strother. Cut off by O'Dwyer and a block from behind. And it's knocked out of bounds. Connecticut ball on the baseline.
Boy, Ann Strother, nice. She did a nice hesitation right here. You see she got blocked from the back, but she wanted the foul. I think the second person got her, kind of clobbered her there, but no call on the official's part.
Barbara Turner going to back in. Fadeaway is good. Barbara Turner, the junior from Cleveland, knocks it down. And that is the first points in about 6 minutes for UConn. Score tied at 9.
That's where they need to go, though. They need to be in that mid-range game to inside game. That's where they're best. Barbara Turner's leading this team in points, so it's nice to get her an early look when she enters the game.
Gino Auriemma didn't expect this. In front of a big house in Fort Collins. With Becky Hammond, I'm Tim Neverett on CPTV. You're watching Connecticut Huskies basketball. Well, the one thing about Connecticut basketball, there are fans everywhere, even here on the Front Range in Colorado. Signs supporting the Huskies all over the place. Saw a lot of Connecticut apparel on people walking around the concourse here tonight.
Well, that's what happens when you're back-to-back champions. And, you know, they get it's great for women's basketball. If you look back at that 1995 team, the Rebecca Lobo team, the Jennifer Rosati team, they really changed the face of women's basketball. Talking to some people earlier, I was at that game actually in Minneapolis that year at the Final Four. And that combined with the 1996 Olympic team, they really changed. They made women's basketball a national sport, and they support them out there in scores like it's an NBA team.
Strother missed the jumper, and Colorado State again with a basketball. Moulton finds Thomas back to the right side for a three. O'Dwyer in and out. Rebound kept alive. Mel Thomas had it poked away.
Colorado State doing a great job getting to the offensive glass right now, being really scrappy. They know every possession counts in a game like this. And likewise for Connecticut, you know, you're in a dogfight right now. You're struggling offensively, so they got to look to go inside, get that inside game going, and see if then maybe they can't pull out and get some outside game.
Tie game at 9. Sadiq pull-up jumper, well short. She's fouled. And the foul is going to be on Lindsey Thomas, her first. Lindsey Thomas set a Colorado State record in the last game she played in, hitting 11 of 11 from the field. Rashida Sadiq at the line, had a good time in Athens, Greece this summer, representing Nigeria with the Olympic team. Saw her play in a game against Brazil. Brazil would win that game, but Sadiq averaged a little bit better than 7 points a game for the Nigerian Olympic team.
Look, for Gino RM, isn't it nice to look down your bench and have Olympians sitting there?
Yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches. Huskies back in front on the free throws by Sadiq. 11-9. Molly Knorr.
A lot of pressure right now with UConn. Colorado State having some difficulties, a little bit stagnant on the offensive end.
A reach foul will be called on Moulton, and Connecticut will get the ball again. You see that mask Mel Thomas wears, and you look on the other side, Molly Knorr for Colorado State. She has the same mask, also suffering from the effects of a broken nose.
Don't let anybody tell you that basketball's not a contact sport, because it's physical, and this UConn team is a very physical team. They get up and really cause some pressure defensively.
UConn went for 6 minutes without scoring. Now Sadiq misses the layup. Gets another pass from Barbara Turner underneath. Strother recovers. A fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock.
That was UConn's first offensive board of the game on that possession. And when you create other opportunities like that, everybody's in and around the basket. You can open up and get your perimeter game going a little bit.
Three-pointer for Strother, the miss at the other end, and Sadiq the rebound. The largest lead right now for the Huskies is 5 at 14-9.
Colorado State with a quick shot that time. That's not the game plan that Colorado State has coming into this game. You don't want to take quick shots and let this UConn team get on a roll like they're on right now.
Another three for Strother. She's got 3 in the game. And Chris Denker wants a 30-second timeout. Colorado State was on a 7-0 run. Now Connecticut on a 10-0 run. Take that 8-point lead at 17-9, 9:57 remaining in the first half of play. A little bit more serious look by the home coach, Chris Denker, in his 3rd year. And Strother dialing long distance. The last 2 games, she was 1 for 9 for 3. Tonight, she's got 3 of them.
You know, she came out, nice skip pass there, good find by her teammate. And you know what? She came out first shot of the game and hit the 3. And right here you see her stepping back. But a lot of times when you hit that first shot, you're feeling it a little bit. And don't think that she's going to let it fly up here in her home state.
First chance people have had to see her play in person in Colorado since she left Highlands Ranch High School.
That was definitely by design, I'm sure, by Gino to get Ann Strother back in her home state. You know, and you change a lot as a player coming out. You go away 18 years old, and in 3 years at the level that UConn plays at, you're going to come back and be a totally different player than when the home folks saw you last in high school.
Hunter misses the 3. Loose ball taken by the Rams. Espinoza. And Hunter again for 3. She's not shy about throwing those up there. 16 of 45 coming into the game. She's now 16 of 47 on the year. You know, that's 6% from outside the arc.
That last possession is something that I think Colorado State has to do a little bit more of. Instead of penetrating in there and throwing up some wild shots, you got to penetrate in there, look to find your shooters. They're not knocking them down right now, but you got to trust that shooting's like that, and they're going to knock them down later on, either in this half or in the game.
Turner with the ball. Now Thomas. Well, Thomas can't get it to go, but the rebound and the putback by Jessica Moore.
Both these last possessions, they've scored off an offensive rebound, and they hadn't had any up until that point. But that's really, you don't have to shoot a great percentage when you get those offensive boards because you create more opportunities.
Dennett the miss, Moore the rebound. Connecticut the basketball. Strother open. Mismatch there with Hunter on it.
UConn looking to push a little bit. Good defense by Lindsey Thomas, creating that turnover.
Connecticut's done a better job of holding on to the basketball in the last few minutes.
Good job by Vanessa right there to pull that out. Make sure you get a quality shot.
Molly Moore with a long-range jumper. Good for two, and it's 19-11. 8:15 remaining in the first half. Turner free throw line. Foul line extended. Thomas in and out.
See perimeter jump shots that way. Colorado State going to a little bit of a matchup right there and make Connecticut hit from the outside.
Moore long on that one. And what we're seeing here is Colorado State playing a little desperation basketball, trying to get caught up quickly with the threes, and Moore in transition scores.
If you're Colorado State, you can't have these mental breakdowns. It's not one pass and a shot. You're not getting quality shots. Run your offense, execute, keep your head in the game, stay calm, and don't get overwhelmed by the pressure out there.
Hunter driving, picks up the blocking foul on Moore. Jessica Moore with another foul. And Gino Oriema looking on. Again, he locked them down here this week when they get to Colorado. Starting to pay off now as the Huskies have stormed out to a 10-point lead. Festive family activities, spiritual reflection, and musical revelations await you when you watch Emmy Award-winning journalist Diane Smith's Christmas in Connecticut, a positively Connecticut holiday special, Friday at 8 on CP-TV. With New York Liberty star and former Colorado State All-American Becky Hammond. Tim Neverett back with you courtside at Moby Arena on the campus of Colorado State in Fort Collins. 10-point lead for the Huskies. Ranked 8th in the country. And with that loss to Arizona State, and those rankings come out early next week, might be a few people putting their hands over their eyes. They might drop out of the top 10. Some people are afraid.
You know, you look at these two programs. If you're not top 10 in UConn, that's just unacceptable. You know, and then you got a Colorado State who, if they're ranked in the top 25, they're having a fantastic season. So there's definitely a difference in the level here. But that's why you come out and play the games. Anything can happen when you step out on this basketball court if you don't come ready to play.
Hunter goes 1 out of 2, makes it 21-12. Lucy Marin back in the game. Senior guard. Ashley Battle also.
You see Colorado State here playing a little bit of a 3-2, trying to extend it, protect that interior, and don't let the ball get inside. And right there, Jessica Moore took a lot of contact and no foul.
Ball's going to go back to Colorado State. A little bit of scrambly play on the baseline. So on the floor for Connecticut, Wilnette Crockett, Ashley Battle, Stacey Marin, Jessica Moore, and Mel Thomas.
This is a big possession for Colorado State right now. They need to get a quality shot. They haven't had those quality shots the last couple times down the floor. So make sure you take care of the ball, don't turn it over, and make sure you get a good look at the basket.
Espinoza the entry now, and Dennett guarded by Crockett. Can't get the roll, but a quick rebound by Battle. Ashley Battle going end to end. Can't make the shot fall, but she'll be going to the line to shoot.
Ashley doing a good job getting to the boards, and she can get up and down the floor in a hurry. You see, she sees the seam right here and knows she can get to the basket. Good job of creating contact, and she's going to go to the line. Free throw shooting as well. If you're UConn, shooting 57% from the free throw line as a team, that's just not going to cut it either.
It's her first miss. There's usually money from the free throw line. Thomas and Moore go out. Strother comes back in along with Barbara Turner.
Ashley Battle
shot's good.
Coming off a big game from Arizona State. You know, a lot of times that's all you need to jumpstart you. She was struggling a little bit before that point, You know, they had a little break there before they actually got into action. And she was able to come out, get things going offensively. And I'm sure she's looking to carry that over into this game tonight.
Connecticut lead back to 10 at 22-12. Espinoza. O'Dwyer. And Dennett puts it back out to Hunter. 4 seconds on the timer, and Hunter hits.
Sarah Hunter putting the ball on the floor. A lot of girls can't shoot that pull-up jump shot. Sarah Hunter's got that to her game.
Not shy. In fact, the first basket of the season was scored by Sarah Hunter, a freshman. Her first collegiate shot, a three-pointer that was nothing but net.
That's a great way to start your career. But you know, Colorado State did a good job that time of getting into that mid-range game and not just selling for the three-point shot, as did UConn on that possession. You know, don't just shoot the threes. Get into that 15, 17-foot range and watch your field goal percentage go up 5 or 6 points.
Strother with a 2, her first. 3 three-pointers for Ann Strother and a 2 there. Lead back to 10 at 24-14. Ann Strother is the player that Gino Auriemma is looking for to be that leader he needs on the floor.
Well, they're still searching for that go-to player, and so far it's been Ann Strother this game. She's been able to go inside and outside, just like we packaged her. And right now, she's burying the threes.
Trying to get the ball again in open space. Guarded by Annika Walsap. Loose ball, here's Turner. Fouled on the way up by Melissa Dennett. Well, Barbara Turner will go to the line. Junior out of Cleveland. 65% free throw shooter. And Dennett, the former volleyball player. She came here as a freshman, played both volleyball and basketball. Trying to juggle those two sports at the Division I level when they overlap like that.
Colorado State's a top 10 volleyball team too, so they play serious volleyball here in Fort Collins. Dennett that time did a good job defensively and was able to get a hand on the ball, but also got a little bit of her hand.
Turner's first one's good. She'll have another. Largest lead of the game now for Connecticut at 11.
Talking to the coaches of Colorado State earlier, this is something that they did not want to happen. They didn't want these big runs to get ahead of themselves. They didn't want to give up that 10-point cushion in the first half. You know, you want to keep it close and give yourself a chance to win at the end of the game.
Foul off the ball underneath.
They're going to get Ann Strother with the hold, I think.
Stacey Marin, I think,
Stacey Marin got the hold.
Stacey Marin, a walk-on. Kind of a surprise starter tonight. We were given a couple of different scenarios of who might start. Gino keeps it very close to the vest. He doesn't let you know until right before game time sometimes.
I felt like we were, you know, had our own little Christmas surprise here. You know, he wasn't going to open that package and let us know up until the very end.
Lindsey Thomas, the step-back jumper is good.
I think Colorado State needs to look to get her a little bit more involved. Colorado State's go-to player is Lindsey Thomas, and you know, that might be just her second shot of the game.
Lead back to 10 for Connecticut. Turner over to Marin. Skip past Barbara Turner. And the entry to Strother. Connecticut moving the ball around the perimeter now. Strother lines up a 3 off the front rim, and Espinoza running the other way for Colorado State. Rebound Thomas off the miss, and she'll score. She had been quiet, hadn't had a bucket in the game, and now has 2 straight, and has cut the lead to 8, 26-18 with 4:07 to go. And a timeout on the floor. Lindsey Thomas has woken up for Colorado State.
You know, these are the first looks that she's even gotten, and she's knocked both of them down. She says, hey, if you guys aren't going to give me the ball, I'm just going to have to go get your misses and put it back. And that's what she did right there. On this last possession, you know, she just gets a little step back, and that's tough to guard. I don't care who you are. That step back move is something that the girls game has definitely been able to achieve. It's something that a lot of girls work on. Create that space, and you're able to get your shot off, especially with her height.
Lindsey Thomas, a junior from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, double major, academic All-American. I'll give you one guess what her grade point average is.
Put me on the spot.
Why we even mention it? It's 4.0.
4.0, really? That's impressive. Colorado State is very good academic school.
Slightly higher than yours, right? When you were here?
Barely, barely.
Much higher than mine ever was. 26-18 Huskies coming down to the 4-minute mark in the first half.
See, both teams mixing it up a little bit defensively. showing a little man and then going back into the zone, mixing it up. I think that's necessary. Lindsey Thomas didn't like that call.
That's her second personal foul. And one thing Colorado State cannot afford if they want to hang with Connecticut is Lindsey Thomas getting in foul trouble. Gino Auriemma will talk it over with the Huskies. They lead 26-18 late first half. Starting with Elmo's World, happy holidays. Saturday morning at 7. Celebrate the season all Christmas Day on CPTV. Gather together and enjoy the glorious sights and sounds from our music specials, including the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. That's Christmas Day, Saturday on CPTV. With Becky Hammond, Tim Neverett back here courtside at Moby Arena in Fort Collins, Colorado. And Struther leading the Huskies right now with 11 points, 3 3-pointers. 26-18. The lead is 8. And Struther going to the line, fouled by Lindsey Thomas just before the break.
And Struther definitely getting done. I imagine she's got a couple hundred people here in the stands for her, rooting for her. It's nice to see the hometown girl come up with a big game. She's well on her way. She's got 12 points already in the half.
2 for 2 from the line. Normally a 46% free throw shooter. Some Vans fans up there.
She's got a lot of them in the building tonight.
Custom-made attire. Kylie O'Dwyer with a basketball for Colorado State, guarded by Struther. Pass to Emser Toragbidye, and she walked.
UConn cranking up the defense right there. You saw Vanessa Espinosa working like crazy. That's the point guard. They need to get the ball in her hands, and Ashley Battle just wasn't letting her get any touches, putting the defensive pressure on them.
Now Thomas and Battle in the backcourt with Struther.
Colorado State falling back into this 3-2 again.
Trita Moore kicks it back out. Battle tries the 3. Rebound Dennett. Walseth gets past Battle, bringing it up the floor.
Colorado State doing a good job right now of boxing out in the zone. A lot of times when you play a zone, that's the hardest thing to do is finish it out and grab the rebound because you don't have your normal man-to-man assignment. You got to kind of float and box out an area instead of a specific man.
Dennett forces one and it goes. Melissa Dennett, second leading scorer for the Rams, averaging over 14 a game. Made that one count.
You know, Colorado State needs to get that inside game going. The last 3 or 4 possessions, they've gone back to the inside with Melissa Dennett and Lindsey Thomas, and that's really where their bread and butter is. It's not out on the perimeter. And likewise for UConn, they haven't been shooting the 3 that great. And Struther is this game, but she really hasn't for the year.
Dennett in transition, 2 straight baskets, and it's a 6-point lead for Connecticut.
Gino Auriemma over there, he's not even used to having games be this close. So he's definitely having to work the sidelines over there for his UConn Husky team.
UConn trying to set up for a good shot. Struther will pull up, and Struther hits.
That's a tough shot. She had somebody right in her face that time. Again, put the ball on the floor, shoot the jump shot. And I think when you get, they're very successful if they just take a couple dribbles in from that 3-point line. She's able to get that bucket to fall for her.
Battle, almost a steal, and they call over and back, and that was, well, let's be fair about it. That was not the right call.
No, it wasn't. UConn player definitely tipped that. Scott Yarborough should be asking for help right now. I think he definitely missed that call. See, Ashley Battle clearly gets a hand on the ball right there. And the crowd letting these officials have it.
Yeah, it was the wrong call. Goes in favor of UConn. Certainly they'll take it.
Well, the officials aren't perfect either out there. The players aren't perfect, and neither are the officials. But those are some little ones you gotta see. Then they saw that one. That was a big one.
Jessica Moore can't believe it. She was trying to step to the double team and ended up stepping one too many times and turns the ball back over. Sometimes that's known as a makeup call.
Yeah, you know what? She actually changed her pivot foot. I thought that was the correct call and went into a jump stop. Once you establish that pivot foot, you can't do a jump stop.
Foul off the ball is
and Struther. They got her getting a little physical there with Carly O'Dwyer.
8 points the difference right now. Connecticut 30, Colorado State 22. Minute 15 to go in the first half of play. And Colorado State on the inbound.
Call a timeout.
Do they get the timeout or do they get the turnover?
They got the turnover. Great pressure by Connecticut. I mean, when you can't even make an entry pass on an inbounds play, you know you're putting a lot of energy and a lot of effort into your defensive.
Battle with Thomas and Strother in the backcourt again. Pumping the ball around the perimeter. Wide open shot blocked. The looper came out of nowhere. The former volleyball player showed her hops. And Strother has been involved in much of the play. And watch her defensively here.
Putting that ball pressure on there. She's actually not allowed to cross that little line down there. But nonetheless, Connecticut, it wasn't just her. Her teammates were in full denial, fighting through screens like crazy. Great defensive possession by UConn Huskies that time.
Battle tries to pass from the block to Moore, and it goes out of bounds. A turnover for Connecticut. Under a minute to play in half number 1. This is a much closer ball game than many of these fans expected.
Well, we said, you know, when you're a team like Connecticut, if there's one thing you know for sure, number one, you have a huge target on your back. You're the defending national champions, and you're coming into a place like this before Christmas break.
Dennett.
These girls are going to come in pumped up to play.
Another rebound off her own miss, and Melissa Dennett, 6 points, 30-24. The lead is 6. And they're on their feet at Moby Arena.
Again, Colorado State's pressure, pushing them out, making them be a perimeter team. And right there, Ann Strother just twisted an ankle, and that cannot be good for UConn if she's going to have to sit out any of that second half.
Tora Goodyear with 3 seconds. Espinoza gives it off to O'Dwyer. Shot at the horn, and good. Would have been for 3. And at that break, Ann Strother and the Connecticut Huskies have a lead, but it's not the one Gino Auriemma wants at this point. Connecticut 30. CSU 24. With Becky Hammond, I'm Tim Never. We're back to Colorado in a moment. Welcome back to Fort Collins, Colorado, and Moby Arena. 30-24 is the score. UConn with the lead over the Colorado State Rams. Hang it, everybody, with Becky Hammond. I'm Tim Neverett here. And this isn't really what Gino Auriemma might have expected out of an unranked opponent.
No, Colorado State has come out. They've done a great job defensively, as has UConn. The story here has been the struggle on the offensive end. UConn only connecting on 3 of 12 shooting. And if they've had a bright spot, it's been Ann Strother and Jessica Moore.
And the bright spot early on for Colorado State was Vanessa Espinoza. She got them going.
See Vanessa Espinoza stepping back right here, hitting the 3. That was the only 3 of the half for Colorado State. And you see here, Lindsey Thomas doing the dirty work with the putback, and then Melissa Dennett here with a nice strong turnaround, taking some contact and completing the play. On the other end, the UConn Huskies, Ann Strother got it going early. She's been hot from the 3-point line, and you can see here Jessica Moore doing some dirty work herself. And also she's been able to get out and run the floor a little bit for this UConn team and get some easy buckets in transition. But I don't think Gino is used to struggling on the offensive end, but it's been their defense, and that's been the story of the first half. Shooting percentages fairly close, but not good from beyond the arc. 1 out of 10 for Colorado State, 3 out of 12 for UConn. Ann Strother with all 3 of those. Points in the paint even. That's a shocker. Well, yeah, I think that's someplace that UConn can look to really take advantage of Colorado State. But Colorado State has some good inside presence, but they haven't gone to him. Lindsey Thomas hasn't gotten the looks that she needs to. Melissa Dennett as well has not gotten a lot of looks. They've been settling for perimeter shots. Both teams, they put up a combined 22 3-point shots between the 2 of them just in the first half. So they're letting it fly, maybe settling a little bit too much for that 3-point shot. Well, they're used to success in basketball. They're getting success in football also. The Connecticut football team
preparing for the Motor City Bowl. Still an opportunity for fans to purchase tickets to the game for their personal use or for the purpose of donating them. UConn has already sold more than 5,500 tickets for the December 27th game against Toledo at Ford Field. The game will be televised nationally by ESPN. And for those fans who wish to purchase tickets and donate them, UConn will give these tickets to charities in the Detroit area and to military personnel and their families who are stationed in the region. Tickets are priced at $45. Can be purchased by calling 1-877-AT-UConn. Please note that the UConn ticket office will be open Friday, December 24th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The opportunity to donate tickets will continue through the Monday morning of the game. Second half just underway. Sarah Hunter, a freshman for Colorado State, started him off with a basketball. Molly Knorr with it now, guarded by Barbara Turner.
We saw Colorado State come out, quickly try to get into Lindsey Thomas, but they've done a good job limiting her touches in there. And then Melissa Dennett, you can't forget about Melissa Dennett on the inside either.
Dennett now with 8 points. It's 30-26. The Rams have cut it to 4. Ashley Battle picked up the dribble. Skip past Turner.
UConn hasn't been able to even get the ball inside to their post players against this matchup zone that Colorado State's been playing. So it's tough. There they finally do.
High-low and Jessica Moore with the easy 2, 32-26.
It's a nice pass by Barbara Turner. Jessica Moore did a good job of sealing her, pushing her up the lane a bit, and then being able to get that lob pass.
Espinoza drive to the hoop. Can't get it to go. Scramble for the basketball on the floor. It'll go back to Connecticut. Well, you know, he worked hard. He's got the button unbuttoned. The sleeves looks like they're going to be rolled up next.
You know, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that halftime talk right there. Great hustle by both teams. Both these teams want to win. You can't question the heart here. And you see the heart come through on the defensive effort. You can't always make shots night in and night out. Shooting's like that, but your defense can always be there.
Struthers still in possession of the basketball. 9 seconds on the timer. Long jumper in and out. Barbara Turner couldn't get it to cooperate, and Espinoza the other way, working against her high school teammate Ann Struthers.
Colorado State looking to push a bit. Great pass by Espinoza.
They try a little high-low that time to Lindsey Thomas, and a foul results. And Thomas will go to the line to shoot 2. Terrific pass, drawing 3 Huskies toward it.
Well, that's what happens when you give up middle penetration. You see Vanessa Espinoza able to get into the middle of the court. She draws that defense, and then the easy dump pass to Lindsey Thomas on the inside.
Thomas, good free throw shooter. 79% from the stripe. Her first one of the ball game.
You know, these first couple times, you didn't see it on the first possession, but Colorado State really looked to go inside. They cut it down. They didn't get the look to Lindsey Thomas that they wanted to, but you see him coming right back. She's got to get more involved in this game if they want a chance to win this ball game.
6 points for Thomas. 32-28. Connecticut lead at 4 with 18 and change to play in this game. Crockett. Struthers swings it over to Battle. She's cut off by Thomas at the block, and the ball out of bounds. Maybe the 9th turnover on Connecticut. And a chance for Colorado State to cut it to 2 or 1 with a 3.
Well, this matchup zone is definitely giving them a little bit of trouble. Not quite sure what to do. They penetrate, they do a good job of collapsing, and then recovering back. They stop the initial penetration, then recovered back out. And you see UConn committing the turnover there.
Hunter to Espinoza. Mismatch height-wise with Struther covering Espinoza. Now Thomas kicks it back to Espinoza. Fires up a desperation shot, and it falls.
Let me tell you, that was not an easy shot. Ann Struther did a great job on the initial penetration. Vanessa Espinoza was going through her legs behind the back. She stayed down the whole time, kept her in front, and then Vanessa able to get a nice little kiss off the glass with the left-hand runner.
This is the closest Colorado State has been to UConn since 11:09 in the first half.
See right here, give a little hesitation. She shot that quick. That was not an easy shot with the left hand. Floating away from the basket. somebody makes that shot on you, you just run down to the other end. There's nothing really you could do about that shot.
Strother defending her, 6 feet 2 inches tall. Espinoza almost a full foot shorter at 5'4".
Not short on Hart, though. She plays hard night in and night out for this Colorado State team.
Strother to put the ball in play. A little trouble there. Good defense by the opposition. Turnaround jumper is good by Strother.
And Strother showing her versatility in there. You know, that's a play that you see a lot in basketball. The inbounds you come back in, you get that defense relaxed a little bit because you just inbound the ball, then she steps back in and obviously has the height advantage there. Does a little turnaround jumper, and it has a lot of success at that.
Thomas tries one of her own, and the rebound to Mel Thomas. Mel across the half-court stripe, and a 3-ball on the way. Back rimmed it, and the Huskies on the rebound. Good look underneath. Barbara Turner was open. She couldn't connect on the shot, but she'll have a chance to go to the line to shoot 2.
Nice job. You see Ann Strother, you know, she draws so much attention out there. You see her flash high, and that's what brings that bottom person out of that post just for a second. She's able to get that dump pass down in to Barbara Turner, and she gets the chance to go to the line and get some easy buckets here.
Second personal foul on Molly Knorr. 65% free throw shooter, and she knocks down the first one.
Barbara Turner not starting this game. Interesting call by Gino when you sit the young lady that's leading you in scoring, and she's responded well. And I think I said this earlier, if you want to speak to your players and get through to them that you're not happy with the way they're playing, playing time always speaks that.
Molly Knorr fouled in the lane by Turner. And Molly Knorr will be going to the line. Gino Auriemma. I don't know if he's having fun or not.
See his
It's
assistant
amazing,
there,
though,
Chris
Becky.
Daly.
I mean, the expectations of this program, if you don't win by enough, it can almost be like a loss.
Well, and you know, that comes with Gino expects a lot out of these girls. He knows what they're capable. He knows of what their playing level is. And when you're not playing up to that level, he's going to let you know about it. It doesn't matter if you're Rebecca Lobo, Diana Taurasi, if you're Ann Strother, if you're Barbara Turner. He is going to let you know that he's not happy with the way you're playing and that you need to make some adjustments and step up your play a little bit.
Assistant coach she brought with her from Rutgers.
Yes, and she's been there, and you know that's what girls want when they're picking a university. They want that stability. Gino's been there 20 years, and then I think that speaks well for his working staff there. She's been there with him 12 seasons. She's got many offers to go other places, and she's chosen to stay there and be that assistant role for him throughout his 20 years.
Chris Daly's on his right hand for a long time, and when you're right, when you have that kind of stability, it's good for the recruits. It's not like you're going to have the assistant coach that recruits you go away in 2 years to get a head coaching job. Gino Auriemma was an assistant himself one time at Virginia. 36-31 UConn. A postcard from the Front Range. 5-point lead for Connecticut. 15:55 remaining. Some young fans, perhaps fans of Becky Hammond, New York Liberty, former Colorado State All-American, sitting here to my left. Gino Auriemma and his Huskies have not lost 2 games in a row since the 1992-93 season.
And at that point, I was a sophomore in high school. So that's a long time ago. How old were you then? What were you doing?
92. I was out of college.
There you go.
There's a 3 by Strother, her 4th of the game. And Ann Strother, the leading scorer in the game, now has 20 points.
You know, she stepped up into that leadership role. Her team's back was against the wall a little bit, feeling a lot of pressure, and she's stepped up very nicely for him and been able to open up that middle by hitting those outside shots.
Shot good by Dennett. Dennett now in double figures with 10, and it's 39-33.
Colorado State has been able to have a lot of success on the inside when they've been able to get the ball there. I think a lot of time this UConn defense has been so overwhelming with its pressure that they haven't been able to get the ball inside. But if they can get the ball inside, they'll continue to have success.
There's Turner underneath for 2. Barbara Turner with 2 more.
And we said the exact same thing about UConn earlier. If they can get that inside game going, they haven't been able to establish that yet in this game. But when they do get it in there, good things happen for them.
Espinoza started off so well in this game. Huskies put the clamps on her a bit. Bennett's going to drive. No continuation. Foul before the shot. Go back and take a look at Barbara Turner. She's got 8 points in the game now. Watch her work underneath.
Well, she likes that little short corner baseline on the left side. You saw that's where she got fouled there before. But she's able to get some touches in there. You sneak in, you pick your spots behind that zone. There's some soft spots up there that you're going to give up in the zone, and she's been able to find those seams and get in them and make some things happen.
Another whistle off the ball. This will be on UConn. Ashley Battle called for the personal foul. Lead back to 8 for the Huskies. CSU had cut it to 2 points. In the second half, battle of steal.
Colorado State really missed taking advantage of a mistake right there, because really on that inbounds plays, both players went with that other player coming off that double screen. Vanessa Espinoza was able to step out, and Ashley Battle makes a quick recovery and able to shoot that gap, but really makes up for a mistake that she made early on.
Colorado State with the basketball. Dennett over to Hunter. She's got an open shot. Moore was battling for the loose ball, and a foul is going to be called.
UConn being really aggressive in those passing lanes. You saw Thomas right there really shooting the gap hard for that steal and wasn't able to come up with it.
Saw Emser Torag-Bidye on the ground and being helped up right now by her teammates, a 6'3" junior. From Fort Collins, her parents from Nigeria, where she is actually a tribal princess there. Now, it's interesting to note, she is not the only member of royalty on campus here. Running back Marcus Houston of the CSU football team is a prince also in a village in Africa.
Well, I haven't been over there, but I've met more than a few princesses from Africa, so.
Being a princess isn't what it used to be, judging by Emser's reaction there. 41-33 Huskies. Mel Thomas drives. Has the ball stripped by Espinoza. Thomas was looking for a foul. And a turnover there as the ball was shoveled a little bit behind Walser. I want to give you a number here, Becky. As we look at Emser Torag-Bidye on the bench now, she seems to be coming around. But one of the things about Colorado State is that in the school's history, 3-point field goal there for Ashley Battle, and the Huskies starting to pull away now. 44-33, the lead 11. In the school's history, when they've played in front of a crowd here at Moby Arena that has been 5,000 or more, they're unbeaten at 12-0. You played in probably half those games. But tonight, their 6th largest crowd at 7,048.
Well, Moby's been good to us in the Colorado State women's program, and you definitely want to defend it. Tonight, though, they got their work cut out for them. They got to overcome an 11-point lead here, and not a lot of time to do it.
No question about that. Traveling violation. You look inside Moby and the big ram horn in every corner. And on the court, as you've noticed, Jessica Moore in the game. She needs 8 more points to get to 1,000 for her career. She's got 8 points in the game. And Colorado State trying to climb back in.
You know, this hasn't been the prettiest game offensively, especially from the 3-point line. Ann Struther's been the bright spot in this gymnasium. She's been able to heat it up herself, but everybody else has kind of struggled from beyond the arc.
Flying rebound by Moore. Pass underneath. It's Turner for 2. Barbara Turner now double figures with 10. And the largest lead of the game now for Connecticut at 13 points, 46-33. And Chris Denker of Colorado State wants timeout. We'll take it with him. You're watching Connecticut Huskies basketball on CP-TV. When all TV was live, Caesar was king. Relive Sid Caesar's best moments and hear from him and the other show business legends that help make these shows classics. Don't miss the Sid Caesar Collection, Saturday night at 9 on CP-TV. Happy holidays to everybody watching this telecast tonight. Joe Auriemma and the Connecticut Huskies. Not the best shooting percentage. Actually shooting a lower percentage here in the second half with 12 minutes and 10 seconds to play, leading by 13, 46-33. A whistle and Connecticut gets the ball back.
You can kind of feel the energy sucked right out of this building after that last timeout with UConn's run. But, you know, they're starting to click a little bit offensively, and Gino's got to be happy about that. He's been able to find the gaps in the zone and really have just calmed down and played much better.
Great bullet pass from Strother underneath, and the basket's good.
Boy, you have some soft spots, but that left baseline is a real soft spot in this Colorado State zone defense.
Barbara Turner has come on here in the second half. Espinoza can't get it to roll. Long rebound out to Knorr. Molly Knorr took an elbow from Dennett in practice not too long ago. Broke her nose.
Good pressure.
Rip Hamilton looked on. Foul is going to be called underneath. And heading to the line will be Kylie O'Dwyer. Rashida Sadiq, Nigerian Olympian, and the Connecticut Huskies with a 48-33 lead. Time out of the floor. 11:21 to go in this one from Moby Arena in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Here we see Ashley Battle with the ball. You're going to see her give the ball up, a little inside-out action. There you see her give it to Jessica Moore. Makes a nice basket cut, misses her initially, and then Ann Strother's able to find her. And that's what happens when you have Ann Strother on the floor. She demands a lot of attention. She's been really the only one lighting it up from the perimeter for UConn in this game. And right there, Ashley Battle does a good job cutting to the basket and finding that soft spot.
Battle, the fifth-year senior out of the Lindsley School in Pittsburgh. Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East 2 years ago. Shot made by O'Dwyer is at the line. Ashley Battle played herself onto the bench earlier this year and then immediately played herself off it. Is solidly back in that UConn lineup. Nobody's safe on this roster.
Well, she had a career night the other night, and a lot of times you get in grooves like that, you know, it's not just through the game, it carries over into the next game. And one thing that you know you're always going to get from Ashley is you're going to get a lot of rebounding. She's going to play hard for you all the time. She's going to grab a few boards. So there's intangible things, some intangible things that she does out there for your ball club.
And Battle misses the three that time, and it goes out of bounds. Off Colorado State, off Barbara Turner, I beg your pardon, and Colorado State will get the ball. You see the depth makes a big difference. 12 bench points for Connecticut, only 2 for Colorado State.
Absolutely. I mean, Gino's done such a great job with his team. I mean, he doesn't have to do recruiting. People come to him and want to play. He doesn't have to really go out on the road. It takes a phone call, and you got the best players in the nation knocking at your door wanting to play for your ball club.
The recruiting budget goes to the phone bill, huh? Here's Turner backing in. Barbara Turner, another 2. 12 points for Barbara Turner. And it's 50-35. Largest lead now at 15 for the Huskies. Back the other way, Molly Knorr fouled as she goes to the basket. And Molly Knorr will be going to the line to shoot 2. Let's watch Turner here. Strong move against Lindsey Thomas.
We see right there, she gives a little head and shoulder fake and is able to wrap around, but she's also got some hang time. She's a lot to handle down there. Shoots it, goes up over 2 defenders and is able to knock it down. And she might be the best player. Her and Ann Struthers are definitely the best 2 players on this team, and they've stepped up and been able to show it in this game.
but they got to keep that consistency. You know, they got that leadership, but they've had trouble with consistency. They've played well in spurts, but they got to put a full 40 minutes together, I think, in order to make that man on the sideline happy.
Jessica Moore sits down. Nicole Wolf makes her first appearance, the senior from Walpole, Mass. 6-foot senior guard Nicole Wolf with a basketball. Strother has a chair as well.
Well, you see in this second half, UConn has not settled for the perimeter shot like they did in the first half. They've been able to get it down low and been able to get a good shot. And they're shooting a much higher field goal percentage.
Wolf for three. Fresh off the bench. Zeroes in and knocks down the tray. It's 53-36.
That's always a nice option to have that shooter just come in, be stone cold, and come in and knock down some shots.
Dennett trying to back in. Fouled by Turner. Turner's feet were moving. That's why she picked up the foul.
Some nice defensive work by Barbara Turner. Melissa Dennett, though, on the other hand, doing a great job of initiating that contact and creating that contact and forcing the official to make that call, because really Barbara Turner was just standing there. But when you do a little bit of acting in there and flail a little bit, a lot of times you get the call.
Colorado State has not trailed wire to wire. They led 9-7. Connecticut tied it up at 9, and they've led ever since and are extending their lead. Dennett hits the free throw. 53-37.
So when you bring in a team like UConn, you know your backs. I mean, chances are you're not going to win. You got to put your best effort out there and have absolutely all the little things go your way. But if you're Colorado State, you're in a win-win situation here. I mean, even losing to a team like a UConn or a Tennessee does better things for your RPI than playing these smaller schools that nobody's ever heard of.
Gina Oriella not happy with something at this point in time. 53-37, that's the score in favor of Connecticut. Huskies are back home on Monday. The Hartford Civic Center will take on George Mason. You can watch that game live on CPTV with Bob Picosi and Megan Como as they return back home to the Constitution State. See those banners up there with those numbers on January 22nd. There'll be one with Becky Hammond's number on there. You're going to have your number retired.
That's right. It's a big day, big day. There's only been 5 in the school's history, so it's a big honor for me.
Went in the Hall of Fame here this year?
Yes, I guess it's the year for me.
So what do you do in your spare time?
Try to be a basketball player.
The New York Liberty's Becky Hammond. Many Connecticut fans have seen you play against the Sun.
Yeah, I got a lot of roots back in Connecticut. Both my parents grew up actually in the Windham, Willimantic area. And so I got a lot of aunts, uncles, cousins watching back there in Connecticut.
Just about 9 minutes remaining in this one. The first ever trip to Colorado by a UConn team. A whistle and a foul underneath. Strother's going to check back in. From Castle Rock, which is south of Denver. And from where we are in Fort Collins, we're about an hour north of Denver, a little less than an hour north. And Castle Rock, probably an hour and a half from where we are here.
Well, she was quite the high school standout here in Colorado. And it's nice for her to be able to not only come back home and play in front of a home crowd of her own, but also the outing that she's had tonight has been very impressive. So I'm happy for her to come back and this UConn team, you know, to bounce back and try to regain some of this respect that maybe they lost in this last game.
Moore finds Strother on the right. Here's Turner, wide open Wolf. Espinoza picks her up quickly. Moore backed in, drew a crowd, and the ball knocked out of bounds. UConn will have it on the baseline. 6 seconds on the shot clock once they get it in bounds.
You see this last play, this wasn't an organized play, I don't believe. They just did a lot of passing and cutting. That's the kind of basketball that's toughest to defend, is when you don't know what they're going to do. They're just playing basketball out there, they're making different cuts.
2
and
on
that time
1.
not working to their advantage.
Espinoza with the stop and pop. 53-39.
That's Vanessa's game, too. Get in the open court, make some things happen. She's got a nice pull-up jumper. Nice variety to her offensive game.
Connecticut doing the job defensively. That breaks a 7-minute scoreless drought for Colorado State. Now Strother, another 3-ball. He's got 4 of them tonight. Goes out of bounds. Back to the Rams.
UConn switching it up to a little bit of a pass and cut offense, a movement. 4 out, 1 in, just getting a lot of movement. And really, the possession before that, they didn't get that great of a look off of that. And right there, Ann Strother maybe forcing it a bit.
Wide open look, but Strother came over with weak side help to make the block.
She's had a couple blocks tonight, so definitely making not only her presence felt on the offensive end, but also on the defensive end as well.
Turner gets it to Wolf on the right. A lot of room for her. Good pass underneath to Moore. That's 10 points. And she's 6 away now for 1,000 in her career with 7.5 to go. We'll see if they try to feed her the ball.
Well, I know if you play for Gino's organization, it's not about the personal records, it's about the team records. But anytime you get that milestone, if you look in their media guide, I mean, just how many players they've had reach that 1,000-point mark, it's pretty impressive.
He said his one regret, staging the Nikisha Sales record. When she was injured, they let her get the uncontested basket. He has come out and said that's his only regret in coaching.
Well, you know what? Nikisha Sales is a great player, but when you look at the stat book, you see that girl that she passed, played in 17 less games.
UConn in front, getting later in the second half. In addition to UConn women's basketball, Connecticut has plenty to be proud of, including a man who called Connecticut home. Composer Leroy Anderson. His life and music are revealed in Once Upon a Sleigh Ride, Friday at 9 on CPTV. Connecticut fans are used to seeing a few more bangers, but Becky Hammond, going to the NCAA tournament multiple times. You're a big part of that.
Well, we used to have a lot of fun in this building. We filled this building up a few times, and definitely a home away from home for me here in Fort Collins. Things getting a little bit physical out of there. A little frustration maybe coming from Colorado State.
55-39 as we continue with just over 7 minutes to play in the game. Moore up top to Mel Thomas. Thomas trying to rotate over to the far side.
Colorado State mixing it up, going back to the man-to-man.
O'Dwyer pass underneath to Thomas, and a terrific steal by Ashley Battle, but she stepped on the baseline out of bounds, and Colorado State will have it.
I tell you, that was great pursuit by Ashley Battle from all the way from the offensive end. She just about got that ball before Carly O'Dwyer even let it go, and then was able to just swing around the other side and grab it from Lindsey Thomas. She's going to get a moving screen on that one. We like to throw those hips around just a little bit. That time the officials catch Lindsey Thomas.
That's how she gets room underneath. When you're playing against a team that keeps running bigger players off the bench, you've got to try every advantage you can.
That's right.
Mel Thomas guarded at midcourt by Vanessa Espinoza.
Good pressure by Vanessa. See, it took them 10 seconds, the full 10 seconds, just to get down the court.
Battle to Crockett, will net. Underneath for Moore. Moore would have had a shot had she been able to collect the ball. A 3-ball on the way, and Thomas hits. 3-point basket, Mel Thomas. And an inadvertent whistle. Gino Auriemma had his arms up, signaling 3. And one of the officials mistakenly thought he signaled for a 30-second timeout.
Gino getting a little excited over there for his walk-on being able to step up. That's the first 3, the second 3 that UConn's hit, other than Ann Strother and Ashley Battle had one. So
UConn,
I'm sure he is excited about hitting that one.
He is. He likes them from long range. It's now their largest lead at 19 points, and the Huskies will get the ball back. And the homestanding Rams, who at one point were very much in this game, are starting to show it in their faces across the way.
Yeah, a team like this is just, I mean, you can't make mistakes. You can't have this mental breakdown. Colorado State in itself is a pretty young team. And, you know, they just become overwhelming. It's like they just keep coming at you and throwing different people at you. And it gets to where you just can't hang with them anymore. You just don't have enough skill, athleticism, and talent to hang with these guys. And where you see that most, I think, is on the boards. Early on in the game, they were able to hang in there, grab some offensive boards, and really stay in the game on the rebounding aspect of it. And in the second half, UConn has been able to run away with it a little bit on the rebounding end.
Dennett misses the long rebound by Crockett. Remember we told you Colorado State was within 2 points of UConn. Since then, the Huskies have gone on a 26-9 run.
Well, Colorado State's only hit 4 field goals in the second half, and that's just, when you struggle to put points on the board like that, you're going to struggle to beat anybody. But give credit to UConn's defense. They're a stingy defense. They do a lot of good things out there defensively.
Strother forced that one. Thomas the rebound. Well underneath, and Crockett fires one up. An offensive foul is going to be called on Wilnette Crockett, the junior from Harbor City, California. She's probably been the most consistent player for the Huskies. Really a blue-collar type player. Player who's willing to grind it out underneath.
Gino not really liking that decision on the putback. Pulls her out. Understands. You got to understand when you're UConn, time, possession, and what the situation in the game is. Maybe not the best time to just take it right back up, kick it back out, and work that clock a little bit. The clock's your friend right now.
Sarah Hunter working against Battle. She's doubled, fires up a 3, no good.
Boy, I tell you, she has got a quick trigger. She shot that thing between 2 defenders, and she shot it quick. She has been stone cold, though, here from the field, so maybe rushing it a little bit too much, trying to get that shot off.
Seems like one of those players who never met a shot she didn't like. Averaging just over 8 points a game for Colorado State. 5'6" freshman from right here in Fort Collins. Here's O'Dwyer, cut off from the line, and Thomas a great steal. Dennett got it back.
You know, I think when you're struggling from the free throw line, or excuse me, from the field goal area, you know, you got to, I think, take a look at some of your shot selections. You're not shooting a great possession. You got to kind of take some self-introspection, if you will, and say, hey, am I taking the best shots? Am I taking shots that I can make, or am I just throwing some stuff up just so I can get my shots up? You know, you want to take good quality shots. Coaches have no problems if you miss on shots that you can make. It's the shots that you can't make that you take that they're able to get upset about.
Entry pass to Moore. Jessica Moore going off the side of the backboard. And Hunter takes it the other way for the Rams. Battle out on Espinoza quickly. Turner defending near the post. Now up top. Screen set by Tora Bigye.
This UConn team is up by almost 20 points, and there has been absolutely no let up on their defensive pressure. They're still trapping and being real aggressive on the defensive end. Here again, we talked about this earlier, Ann Strother over the line and getting away with it. That makes her a little bit bigger. And if I'm the Colorado State team, I'm aware of that, and I'm letting the officials know, hey, she's coming over the line. And if I'm the inbouncer, I'm backing up off that line a little bit to create my own space if she's not going to give me any. But you know what they call that in basketball? A good play when it doesn't get called.
That's exactly right. It's okay unless you get caught, right?
Yep, exactly right.
Great work by our CPTV crew here tonight, catching the feet of Ann Strother, not once but twice. A foul back the other way. And that'll be on Espinoza. There's a timeout on the floor. 3 minutes, 52 seconds left to go in this Rocky Mountain adventure for UConn. They lead at 58-39. Hello to you back in New England. Fort Collins, Colorado. Inside Moby Arena. 6th largest crowd here. 7,048 on hand. Connecticut Huskies doing what they do well, winning on the road. They win a lot of games at home. More than 100 straight conference home wins. Rashida Sadiq And at the line, Mel Thomas being fouled by Espinoza, hits the front end of the bonus. She'll have another.
Well, when you're UConn, it's just unacceptable to lose any game. I mean, these are, Gino, you know, he's kicked out these teams that, you know, they go undefeated. I mean, do you know how hard it is to go undefeated in college basketball? And he really, you know, when he first took over UConn, it was not a winning program.
No.
I mean, he paid his dues, and it only took him 3 or 4 years to crawl into that NCAA tournament, and pretty much, you know, pretty soon he was a regular appearing for the UConn Huskies in the NCAA tournament. And then, you know, it's Final 8 and Final 4. I mean, he put in his dues, and now, the past 4 or 5 years, I mean, he's owned women's college basketball.
Hunter short on the 3. Rebound, Turner. Thomas will bring it up the floor with 3:20 to play. Yeah, another large lead, the largest of the game for UConn, 60-39. Travel back to Connecticut for the holidays, and then right back at it Monday at the Hartford Civic Center against George Mason.
You know, this game really had a lot of meaning for both teams, I think. If you're UConn, you're coming off a loss to a team that you're better than, that you shouldn't have lost to. They show great poise and comeback. It's always nice to go into this Christmas break on a win. If you're Colorado State, you know, you have some positives to look at. You hung with this team for a good portion of this game, and you know what? You're going to hold them to underneath their average, so you did some nice things defensively as well.
Again, Hunter short on the 3. She's not had the range dialed in tonight. Again, that quick trigger.
Colorado State has actually, I mean, if it's not cold outside, I think it's been colder in here for the Colorado State Rams shooting from behind the arc, because they have been ice cold from beyond the arc.
A couple of freshmen check in now. Sharday Houston out of San Diego, and Keisha Swanya out of Columbus, Georgia. And Strother will have a seat.
Keisha, a young freshman. Saw her earlier in the season starting for this UConn team. And you know what? That's a lot of pressure. You're expected to come in here and run a team that has the national championship legacy that UConn has, and that's not an easy job. So she's going to be a great player for this program. Maybe not ready to step into those big shoes yet, but she'll definitely get there.
Dennett will sit down for Colorado State. Jessica Moore has a seat. Sheeta Sadiq back in. "14 field goals made for the Rams out of 45 shots. They were throwing up a lot of ill-advised shots, just trying to stay in the game."
Well, you know, UConn can have a tendency to do that. The defensive pressure gets you into making some decisions and taking some shots that you wouldn't normally take. And that's what UConn's done in these games that they've been able to win, is their defense, because the offensive game hasn't been what it used to be for this UConn team.
Mel Thomas with the basket. 4 of those 14 have been in this half.
Yeah, and I mean, you just, if you're Colorado State, I mean, shooting is like that, but they had a couple nice looks, but, you know, you're just not knocking them down. And like I said, this UConn team is much bigger, much stronger, much more athletic than this Colorado State team. So, you know, when you're spotting up at the three-point line and you don't have all the time in the world to spot up, you know, and you got somebody that's twice as big as you running at you with their hands up, you're liable to miss a lot more shots than you normally do. So UConn definitely doing a great job on the defensive end, holding this team to, at this point, just 39 points. And this is an offense that was putting up, you know, 70-plus points against other opponents. So I think they're going to have a happy locker room, a relieved locker room at the end of this game.
Under 2 minutes to play in the game. 6.5 minutes have gone by for the Rams without a point, and that is a testament to the defensive pressure put on by Connecticut.
I think both these teams, I mean, Colorado State, they really struggled on the offensive end, but I think they exposed some weaknesses on this UConn team. If I'm playing UConn within the next couple weeks, I'm looking at this tape and seeing what Colorado State did defensively to maybe help myself out and help my team down the road when I play.
First basket since the 8:26 mark, Lindsey Thomas. And it's 62-41. A foul called. 1-1 into into the game, Ashley Valley. She's a senior from Colchester, Vermont. So Gino Auriemma getting the bench pretty well cleared out now. Keisha Soignier, 33% free throw shooter. Suffered a mild concussion in the North Carolina game. She's come back and played fairly well. She had been playing a little bit more than she played in this one tonight.
Another bright spot for this UConn team. Even though Keisha missed that one, they did shoot a lot better than they have been from the free throw line in the past. So a bright spot, but much work still needed to be done on both these squads, and that's what the preseason is. This is a warm-up for your conference play, because that's really where it counts.
Down to the minute 23.
I get the opportunity to play against many UConn alumni teams.
Well, because most of them turn pro.
That's right. So, I mean, the list goes on and on when you come out of that UConn program of professional players. You know, I would just love to be able to sit in on a few of Gino's practices and see what he's teaching those girls out there, because they come out being phenomenal basketball players.
We talk about professionals, the Olympians as well. We keeping you up, Gino?
Looks like this is late on the East Coast. He's not used to this time switch. He's been on the West Coast here for a few days, and I'm sure he's ready for a little bit of a Christmas break as well.
I think so. A rough little stretch. Shot missed from 3. Annika Walseth with the attempt, and Soignier on the run. There's Mel Thomas for 3. She's short. Lindsey Thomas the rebound. Here's O'Dwyer. Good move by Kylie O'Dwyer. In between two of the UConn guards, Valley and Soignier. 63-44, under a minute.
Nice job to split that defender. And you know, you got your bench players in right now, and you see both teams are still playing very hard. When you're a bench player and you get these last few minutes of these games, boy, you better make the most of them, because that's how you get more minutes. As you come out there, you take the opportunity you're given, and you try to make the most of it. Because tape never lies.
That's right.
And I'm sure both clubs will be going back and looking at tape.
That's it's edited. Almost a shot clock violation, but Colorado State takes it away. Down to the final 10 seconds in this one. UConn will get their 5th win of the year. Keisha Soignier on the pass. The shot will not count. Traveling on Sade Houston. So the 2.5 to go. The Rams will inbound, and this one will be over. 1-1 on this road trip out west for UConn, losing to Arizona State, bouncing back here tonight in Fort Collins. The final score, Connecticut 63, Colorado State 44. Next game Monday at the Hartford Civic Center against George Mason. Bob Picozzi and Megan Como will have that game for you right here on CPTV. For Becky Hammond, I'm Tim Neverett saying good night from the Front Range. Ann Struther, 20 points, leads Connecticut to a win here tonight. Stay tuned for Tavis and guests Oliver Stone and Lenny Kravitz next on the Tavis Smiley Show on CPTV.
Welcome back to Fort Collins. I'm standing here with the star of the game, Ann Struther. Tell me how it felt to get back home and play in front of this home crowd.
It felt great. I mean, the only thing is the altitude got to all of us, I think, a little bit. We noticed it, you know, first couple minutes into the game, but it felt great to come back home and play in front of this crowd.
You mean you didn't warn them about the altitude factor?
I really didn't notice how much it affected you.
Yeah, well, you were able to get your stroke going early on. Tell us the mindset coming into this game. You're expected a lot of pressure on you to be the leader of this team. Tell us about your mindset going into this game, coming off that loss to Arizona State a couple days ago.
Well, I think it was a big game for us. Obviously, against Arizona, we had a really rough game. Didn't play anywhere close to where we should have, and so we need to come out and really, you know, kind of prove a point and get our team going. So.
All right, tell us a little bit. Is Gino going to be able to talk after the game now, or is he going to be still holding you guys captive?
I think he'll be able to talk to us now. That'll be good.
All right, nice game, Ann. Thanks for talking to us. Okay. Thank you, Tim, and thank you for joining us here on CPTV.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
All right, Becky, thank you. Happy holidays to you, too. Ann Struther doing what Gino Auriemma wants her to do, and that's lead. Barbara Turner also leading tonight. 12 points and 5 assists. Great spin-around move there as Barbara Turner gets 2 of her 12. Going inside and then banging the boards right there. Barbara Turner was outstanding here tonight along with Ann Struther, and she had 12 points to go along with Struther's 20. Final score 63-44. That's going to do it for us here in Fort Collins. For Becky Hammond, I'm Tim Neverett. For our entire crew, happy holidays, everybody. Now let's go back to Connecticut.
Early, and a win over George Mason is at the top of the list. The Patriots and the Huskies are next.